consistency. But we're actually going into the first game here, you know, and we got an exciting match for you guys. It's going to be this aggro shaman, which I've been playing a lot of myself, so I'm excited to see how this variation does well in this metagame.
And what's pretty... Wow, okay, so he actually went to keep... Roy kept the Consecrate, probably because he's on the coin as well, but we'll see if you actually... The problem is with keeping something that far down the line, you're sort of presuming you can hold on to the coin, and that normally isn't the case versus hyper aggro decks. Like, even Coin Owl wouldn't be too terrible here, but nothing feels great, because Owl, yeah, you're saving 2 damage, but, you know, Coin into Juggler, well, Juggler just dies, which is a shame, because you have the comboing with Mustard later on is going to be powerful. He can't get quite into Coghammer yet, so it's going to be pretty rough. Maybe he just hero powers and presumes that it's like, if you coin hero power, then you sort of presume that, well, what's the opponent going to deal with a 1? How's he going to deal with a 1/1? Like, hero power into the Taunt Totem would sort of deal with it, but not great. And then that's slow for your opponent as well, so you're okay with that.
I mean, I'm assuming these players don't know what they're running. These lists are for the casters and the viewers' eyes only, and keeping Consecrate, it's a good way to deal with totems, but this deck doesn't rely on totems at all. This is a complete aggro.
Yeah, I mean, it has a lot of low drops, but because we can see that there's 2 unbound elementals, and other than True Silver, no real fun way to deal with them. Like, True Silver does an okay job, but it does that over time. You can't deal with them both. So, definitely might be a little bit rough. I think he needs to see, like, a heal bot or something in his hand relatively soon, just to have that sort of bit of safety versus the burst that the Shaman can do.
Oh. I've just been kicked out. I'll bring it back for you guys now. Just bear with me. The thing is with Consecrate as well, against the aggro shaman, is they don't have a lot of stuff other than the totems at 2 health. The Trog has 3 health, the Wolves have 3 health, the Unbounds have 4 health, the Totem Golems have 4 health, so it's not a very good card, I don't think, to keep against, if you think it's an aggro shaman. But yeah, I think he predicted it was mid-range.
Yeah, I think the benefit is that you have your 1/1s to actually ping off the rest of the damage. I think that's really the idea. You have like Muster, the 1/1s, and like mini bots and stuff to make up the rest of the damage that you're going to need to deal with the Consecrate. So yeah, I mean, we have just been. Looks like we're just getting back into the match actually.
Yep. So back in. Sorry about that, guys.
There we go. So not too much has happened. We're okay. It's only on 3 mana. It looks like the Trog was drawn, and Lava Burst was played as well. So that looks okay, cleared up the board there. And now it's still a tough choice for the Paladin. I mean, I guess you just have to play Minibot and hope he doesn't kill it so you can then Coghammer and combo that again next turn if that's the case, or just go into True Silver.
No, overloaded there. This Lava Shock, or Lava Burst, Lava Shock, that's right, is a very cool card actually. It definitely opens up a lot more damage potential as well, unlocking those overload crystals, and lets you squeeze in extra spells and damage. And the reason I think the Unbound Elements become very powerful in this deck is when you can kind of Lava Shock into a Crackle and, like, say another spell on turn 7 where you'd be locked out, your Unbound Elemental, if left alone, just adds that extra bit of reach, which is why I kind of like them at the moment over, say, Wolf Riders, which has been another common one.
Yeah. The True Silver's going to clear up this pretty nicely, though, and then suddenly, although the Paladin's on low health and the Shaman is very capable of bursting them down, if he can just hold off for a turn or 2, he can really get ahead on the board. And Rockbiter's okay, but he really needs to throw into that Doomhammer to make anything big happen.
Well, Doomhammer's one of the most important cards, if not the most important card in this deck. I mean, it was back in the day of Chaki's version of Aggro Shaman. He ran 2, and these decks generally run 2 as well, because you need them to be able to squeeze out that amount of burst you need to finish off your opponent. So, you know, Doomhammer being very important here. We're having a few drops with the feed here. Hopefully it'll kind of work itself out.
Yeah, these are just connection issues with the feed. Sorry, guys. So it does seem to be okay now, though.
It is the UK to China, right? So
yeah, it's not going to be fantastically perfect all of the time, unfortunately, but we're doing the best we can. And then here's the issue now. Like, hero power and elemental doesn't feel great. What's the best way to deal with this? I suppose Consecrate's fine, right?
Yeah, Consecrate.
You have two, so like Consecrate Hero Power, and then just run the mini bot into the 2/2 that's left, and then just go face. Like again, like there's definitely Crackle's definitely scary, but there's no, you can't heal, so you've just got to get ahead as much as you can at this point.
I mean,
to be fair,
is another option to protect you from Doomhammer.
Yeah, that's true. It's just tough when like Coghammer could hit the mini bot. That's the problem.
And you can't even like use the shield, really, can? Well,
yeah,
you
exactly.
Without using a shredder on the totem, you can't really use the shield. But one thing that will probably be crossing Roy's mind now is, oh no!
Oh, I like it. I like it
for the aggression.
Yeah,
That's good.
Let's just get it down. If he has it, he has it. If he doesn't, I probably win.
Oh, he's so close.
I'm gonna, that could be lethal.
If he gets the spell tire totem, he doesn't find it.
It can
still be lethal. Yeah, he needs a 6
yeah.
on the crackle,
he needs
right?
to. Yeah. Oh, I mean, no, this is tough. Do you just do it? Your opponent must know that there's a lot of burn available, right?
I would consider taking a risk at the moment because you don't have anything else going on, right? And even if you don't kill him, if you take him down to like 1 or 2 health, a heal bot's going to ruin your day anyway, so it makes no difference. And now this Coghammer might lock out this Rockbiter weapon, which is 3 damage you might miss.
Where's the ship?
Oh, worst target.
Yeah, that guy kind of sucks.
So now he's in a situation where he needs to get rid of this taunt, and a Doomhammer would kind of do it, but yeah, it's kind of tough. You'll need a Doomhammer. Will Doomhammer be enough? No, I don't think it will.
Doomhammer just dies, right?
Oh, well, he has to just go for it now, right? He can't.
Yeah, he needs to roll the totem. He needs to roll the totem.
Earth shock it.
He can still do it, but he just has to go for this turn or he's dead, right? So does he get? He doesn't. He has to do it though.
Here we go. RNG time. Let's see if
is he gonna hit the max? Let's find. He's leaving the crackle till last. I love it.
Oh, there's a tentacle for sword here. He doesn't look
There's
too
the
impressed.
3 from the lightning bolt. And does he roll 3? I mean, we already see that he's quit. Yeah. He rolled 3. Oh,
and Roy celebrates.
There's the fist pump. It's always ropey when the match actually comes down to full-on RNG.
I mean, that's one of Shaman's strengths, I suppose. They can just kind of squeeze a win out of nothing with all those kind of RNG-based spells like Crackle. So, yeah, it was a tough game for Sword in the end. He didn't really draw Doomhammer, which is super important. And, Roy had answers to a lot of his minions. And those Unbound Elementals really didn't do a lot, did they? They didn't have much mileage.
Yeah, and that's the reason I personally don't like them, because they can just be dealt with before they can really do too much. Whereas, like if he Wolf Rided or something instead, then suddenly he wins. So I mean, you can say that about a lot of games, I guess, but it just feels like the Elementals, you need them to stay on board, whereas the rest of your deck is built around just bursting someone down quickly. So, like, if there was more aggressive cards, then maybe it'll be a little bit better. But, hey-ho, he does lose his Shaman. He can play it again. I imagine we probably will see it locked in again. But for now, that looks like Zoo again.
And this is Sword's deck, so Sword has switched over to the Demon Zoo.
Yeah.
I mean, when Dark Peddler first came out, traditional Zoo started to crop up a little bit more. Had Powder to get in high legend ranks with kind of a more traditional Zoo with the Dark Peddler. And we also had Reynard playing Token Zoo, which relied on kind of Sea Giants and the new 1-drop that becomes like a 5/5 if you have 6 minions on the board. And it looks like Roy is going for Zoo as well. Zoo seems very popular in the Chinese region.
Yeah, I mean, they're both very similar lists as well. They're not exactly the same, but similar. I don't think there's a Void Terror or a BGH in the other list, but there was 2 Flame Imps and I think 2 Creepers. That was at a glance what I saw of differences. I'm sure someone will point out if there's any more or I got them wrong, but pretty sure there was 2 Flame Imps in the other list. So the Zoom Mirror's just really, really ropey, to be honest. I think the Void Callers are going to be very important. The Void Caller into another demon could just win you the game if your opponent can't do the same to keep up.
The one thing Roy does have an advantage of in this matchup is having that BGH. He does have 2 very strong targets for it in the Mal'Ganis and the Dr. Boom. So maybe BGH, that little tech choice from him might actually make all the difference if it goes in kind of like to the mid to late game. But it very much comes down to the draws here, and it looks like we're going into this game now. Demon Zoo Mirror is going to happen right now. Let's see who can get the board first and kind of keep it. I guess that's your agenda right now.
Yeah, and with the hand that Roy has, I like this keep. I think you need to use the egg to just hopefully put a bigger minion than your opponent on the board quicker. Power Overwhelming, yeah, it's okay, but you've already got something to prot the eggs, that kind of sucks. And the Direwolf, so I do think that Sword has the better hand here, definitely, with the Voidwalker and the Dark Peddling.
There's a lot more utility, especially picking up that silence as well, so he can actually silence this egg when it comes down now, which would be, if it does so well, actually he's going for the Knife Juggler to contest the Voidwalker, but, you know, having that silence available to him will definitely be very powerful, especially since that egg will want to be popped for the Void Terror.
Yeah, the only good thing is, even with the egg silence, you can still Power Overwhelm and Void Terror it to gain the stats and trade. So you can still make use of it. Obviously, you'd rather it not be silenced, but, you know, there's still something there. You can do a lot of fun stuff with the Void Terror. And Zoo doesn't normally have a way to deal with a big minion. Because I think Roy's list was the one running the BGH, right?
Yeah, that's correct. So he's the only one that has it, right?
So if he uses Owl on the egg, then he makes a massive Void Terror. Like, what does Sword do? It's just like, okay. I don't think we saw Arguses in the list, did we? Or am I going crazy? There must be Arguses in Zoo, right?
I'm not sure. I wasn't. It's not something you look out for when you're looking at these lists. You're looking for the things that stand out, like BGH and other kind of tech choices. He gets a Mortal Coil, which is pretty decent actually. You know, because he gets a cycle and he can deal with like a 1/1 from an Ink Gang boss, for example. So it just again.
Gang boss is a good draw though. It's really nice.
Good draw.
What's it? Oh, another Juggler. That's a little bit slow.
Yep. He needed maybe his own Ink Gang boss, maybe another Abusive Sergeant or a Power Overwhelming just to clear it up quite cleanly. But unfortunately, that's not going to be an option for him. Just goes to the Knife Juggler. Probably just gonna. He can trade it all away though. Oh no, he can't. He'll still get what? There'll still be one token left. Yeah, he might still just go on the aggressive here.
Yeah, let the gang boss train into Juggler if that's what you want to do. Egg's okay. I'm just working out if there's something funky can do with the gang boss and then the Void Terror, but probably not. Depends how aggressive he wants to go. You could always just like Power Overwhelming the gang boss feels bad, but you could Power Overwhelming. Not that he needs to though. That's the problem. It's just if you wanted the bigger stats from the Void Terror, but you want to leave that for the egg. I think he does need to get maybe egg tap and then kill the Juggler. Yeah,
I was thinking egg tap may be the way forward here. I was thinking maybe just play Direwolf Alpha so you've got a 2/2 body to contest the board, but Direwolf Alpha will probably get a lot more value from the 1/1 spawned from the Ink Gang boss. So yeah, you know, he's got a lot of potential.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit back and forth this matchup. The Owl does go onto the egg as imagined. The Juggle goes onto the egg as well. But you know, nice. This is good. He actually clears the egg off, so it can't be used in a way that benefits them.
And that's super important. I think the egg would have popping that egg would have gave Roy a stronger board. And this matchup's all about the board mostly. So good heads up play from Sword. They're using that silence. Only 2 on the implosion. But still, you know, it's not looking too bad. He gets to kind of normalize the board. All these 2 attack minions when you have 1 health, and these imps are going to be able to challenge them quite nicely.
Yeah, and the follow-up doesn't seem so bad. You can still you can play the Direwolf into just even like Void Terror at the moment just to gain a bigger minion.
All right, it's good for. That's not too bad. That's not great though. I think his own Void Terror would have been excellent as well. Because he would have had the Doom Guard sitting in his hand ready. He could have maybe hit Void Caller. Sorry, the Void Terror with the Void Caller. But yeah, I think he's got some good options here. So these 2/1/1s can be taken out quite easily by the imps, but he may consider just taking out the Void Caller altogether, just to kind of see if he does have anything in his hand, or he can just go on the aggressive here. But I don't feel that the aggressive is the right, kind of a right choice here. You kind of just have to be. You need to fight for board, and board's like pretty much the most important thing in this matchup. So he does actually go for the abusive sergeant here. Plays a direwolf, can clear this void terror here, and then he's gonna hopefully limit its effectiveness, and it only finds an imp gang boss. So it doesn't find itself taking on, say, a Mal'Ganis or a Doomguard.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I just had to look away for a second. Apologies. Wow, going turn 7 Dr. Boom is always nice, right?
Yeah. Oh, and there's Mal'Ganis there. So if you had drawn that a turn earlier, it could have potentially came out from the Void Caller, but you only got the Imp Gang boss. But yeah, it's Dr. Boom gonna come up for Roy soon. Roy looks really relaxed as well. Like,
It's the chair. When you can tilt like that and just watch, like why not? Like, look, it's just like I'm just gonna just like being at home in bed playing Hearthstone. Why not?
Whereas Sword is sat up, he's kind of like in the thinking position, you know. He looks very in thought, whereas Roy's just like chilling there, enjoying life. And Dr. Boom coming down here, nice strong play here. Can be cleared up by the Incam.
Does have 12 damage actually in hand. What's it, if he draws like? Oh, okay, that's dying. If he drew Doomguard, then that would just be game.
Oh, abusive. Not quite there.
So how much is that? So that's 6, 7. Yeah, that's really close. Holy crap. Yeah, he's basically setting up for lethal this turn. But and being on 28 health is pretty huge because you can just play a little bit. He could just go face. I kind of like just going face. He could trade off the he could kill the Dr. Boom, but yeah, I suppose it guards your Lotheb a bit.
I would just kill the Dr. Boom here, I think.
Yeah,
and then
I think
just
that's
go face
okay.
and everything else. I definitely want to see abusive on the Imp Gang boss to clear the Dr. Boom because
It's safe, right?
Yeah, you just keep such a threatening board.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, and your opponent probably doesn't play an AoE, probably. Ooh. So
this is tough.
I'm trying to work out like egg power overwhelming the bot, and then play. Yeah. I was thinking just play egg and void terror now. Because that's a lot of juggles, right?
Yeah,
it's daggers. Loads of juggles. That this is nice. I like this. And then you can aim his bot at another. This is good.
Wow, that's a very efficient way Roy has dealt with this board. Considering that Sword was so close to kind of finishing him off, but now
and only leaving a 1/1 on the board, which is nice. And he's still turned away from Mal'Ganis. What's he going to draw? Oh my god! One off lethal. But he has so much health. Like, the only problem is Mal'Ganis is going to come down, and if he uses the power of Whelmings now, how does he kill Mal'Ganis? He might want to use the power of Whelmings now, but he has to hold off, because he cannot kill Mal'Ganis, otherwise he has nothing. And if you look, there's already a demon on board, so the point. Oh, okay. Here we
Roy's
go.
reaction then was brilliant. Just like, a big smile and say, yeah, I can sort of deal with this, I suppose.
Okay, so everything's going to get cleaned up. Mal'Ganis is juggle might snipe the 1/1. That would be nice, so he can push for more damage. And of course he does. Roy's juggles are on point, and now
he's used his
there's the shake of the head. They're like,
and the
no way.
As well.
Yeah, too little, too late. Unfortunately, there's no way to deal with this. I suppose, to be fair, on his part, the odds on his board being cleaned up that turn were really high. So it was like, if I use the power of Whelmings now, then if I don't use them now, they might not be able to even be used next turn. That's the problem.
Yeah, it was nothing you could do, unfortunately.
Yeah,
and even now,
definitely rough.
Tap into not another silence. So Roy taking 2-0 lead over Sword here. No, he's really showing his stuff.
Yeah, and showing his emotions as well. He's super happy. Just like these players seem very opposite to each other in the fact that Roy's like very visually emotional, like fist pumping, cheering, looking worried at certain moments. Whereas Sword seems pretty like
calculated,
he looks upset.
Right?
He looks upset now, obviously, and that's understandable. You were 1-off lethal, but he looks just very chill and just very like focused. Whereas Roy's just like wild. I kind of like seeing the different like styles of each player and how that affects them.
I mean, Roy must know. I mean, I don't know Roy's competitive history, but I'm sure he knows Sword's competitive history, especially as of recently winning almost $40,000. So getting a 2-0 lead in a best of 7 against him must feel super good. I'm actually going to see Roy's next deck, which is going to be Mech Mage, and this is another deck I've been playing a bit recently, kind of making a more mid-range.
We've been playing it with the Gorillas?
Yeah, I've been playing with the Gorillas, and the Gorillas always find a legendary for me. I always find like a Fel Reaver, or I always find like a Sneeds, or a Flame Leviathan, so it always gives like a big body, or it gives them like a decent mid-range body. And this list is a little faster than what I've been playing. I've been playing something a bit more mid-range, but you know, I think those Gorillas are pretty cool. I quite like them.
Okay, I've not had a chance to actually use them myself, but also the Clockwork Knight instead of like the Fel Reavers of old that everyone was using, like double Fel Reaver and Mech Mage, and like the one Clockwork Knight and then no Fel Reaver looks pretty interesting there. Still the Antonidas though, for obviously that sort of back end win condition if possible. But we can see how that performs versus the Zoo again. So maybe Sword has a better run with this Zoo. He was so close last game, but now he has Mech Mage to deal with. So Zoo's pretty resilient versus Mech Mage because cards like him, Gang Boss and the Void Caller, we can see don't really take too much issue with the Goblin Blast Mage.
Yeah, they don't interact
and things
well,
like that. But you know, Mech Mage can still do its like super aggro stuff and just win, like build the board up too quick. Because Zoo doesn't have a way to deal with a big board. That's the real problem here. And the Neutron's pretty huge actually. That's a really nice draw because again, like I said, Zoo has no nice way to deal with the board. It just sort of goes face and can make odd, like good trades with Power Overwhelming. But against something like a Neutron, it's definitely going to be a big row.
The thing is with Mech Mages, the Mech Mage can't fight for board forever because the Warlock's hero power will just outlast him as far as draws go. So Mech Mages generally have to fight for board a lot early on, but then they kind of have to turn up the heat a little bit because eventually the Warlock will just outdraw minions because the Mage will run out of steam. There is no card draw in this deck. So cards like a Neutron definitely help with that, stall things out, and it's allowing Roy to push some damage here.
Yeah, been getting the Mech Whopper down. Oh, it's so crazy. Like that being safe is just so much board. The two Gang Bosses are going to help, but he probably just wants to ignore them. And even now, he can drop into the which 3-drops you like? I like the. Oh, would you? Yeah, I like the 4/4.
Just to see what you can find for the upcoming turns. Like you might find something on 5 now. Oh, Clockwork Knight and a heal bot.
Oh, the 0-2 taunt.
Go for the taunt. Go for the taunt.
Is he gone for the... Oh, I thought he clicked the taunt for some reason then. I was like, oh, we were joking, Roy. We were joking. He does... This is awkward, actually.
I think you take the Giant.
I think you take the Giant because the problem is your opponent's Warlock, so he will tap. The only issue is if he runs his cards and literally taps for one card, plays one card every turn, then that Giant just isn't happening at all.
I don't think Healbot is going to make too much of a difference in this matchup. You want the big body. And of course, like you said, his hero power complements the Clockwork Giant as well. So it's going to definitely... I think it most certainly will be able to be played. And it's an 8/8 body that Sword has to deal with without PGH, unlike Roy, who had PGH.
Yep. Oh, okay. So the egg's okay here. I think Void Caller's just the play, though. Void Caller, you want to get that Doom Guard out for free without using mana or discarding the cards 100%. So this is pretty nice. Still sort of evens up the board. Now I can drop the Clockwork Knight onto maybe the Gorilla to make it 4/5.
Yeah.
Make it a Yeti.
Or he can ping, I suppose, one of the 1/1s. Get his spin.
Yeah, so the part might change things.
Oh wow! So that's a good one to get against Zoo. That's one of the best cards you can spare parts you can get because it just slows him down and lets you be more aggressive. And this Mech Warp has so much value.
It's still. This was on the board turn 2, and it's turn 5, and it's still alive.
It's still kicking
and that's the problem. Like Zoo can't really deal with multiple minions that well at all. Most lists don't run AOE, so.
And he's got a lot of strong stuff in hand coming up. That giant will come down eventually, but he also can buff one of his other mechs to trade, or he can just go more aggressive, especially if he draws a fireball. So yeah, it's interesting.
This is one of the issues with picking the giant though, because now the zoo's able to just like sort of splurge out cards onto the board every single turn. Now I don't know if like there'll be enough time to play the giant, which is rough because it's gonna get to the point where zoo taps into top decking. And can just like tap, play a minion, tap, play a minion, do that instead of actually like handlock where it actually just taps into big hands itself. But this is this giant might have been a bit of a bad pick actually. Maybe the heal bot's better just for a 3/3 that's playable.
Maybe. I don't know. I think both. I think they were all pretty bad, right?
Oh, none of them were good picks. Yeah, none of them were good picks. And that's something we know 100%.
And this is what Mech Mage does. This is what it has to do against Zeus specifically. Is eventually it gets to a point where it goes, it can't trade anymore. It just needs to go for damage. It needs to finish the game. And if he had decided to trade, he would have given too much of an opportunity for Sword to get back. And I like Freeze in here because it locks out Doomguard. He has to play it from hand now.
I think as well, like even if it brought out Mal'Ganis, it locks out the Demon Pole, which is what you need. He might Argus. I obviously like the Direwolf Argus here, but I'd probably it's kind of tough. Maybe Direwolf for the Spider, Argus up the Egg. Because the egg trading with the Direwolf buff doesn't actually kill anything.
Oh, well, if he Arguses it, he can kill the monkey.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You'd have to Argus as well. Yeah. It's not like you could trade, get the 4/4, then Argus up the Void Caller and the 4/4 to a 5/5. So nothing feels great, because then if you Argus up the egg, use it to trade, then there's one less taunt, right?
Yeah, it's
so there's both options aren't great at all.
Yeah, if he had a Mal'Ganis in hand, it wouldn't be so bad because at least he'd have some protection. And it looks like he's actually going to, he's going to pop that 4/4 and make sure. But the positioning on the minions makes it really awkward because you want to have that Void Caller taunted out to force a Doomguard. Oh, Frostbolt's definitely going to help finish this off now. So this is going to be game. This is, and Sword is getting stomped by Roy here. Roy definitely showing his power, and I did talk up Sword a lot, like because of his recent achievements, but Roy is really showing his strength here.
Yeah, that's pretty ruthless, and like he has his Druid left against the whole of lineup of Sword, which is Warlock, Warrior, Druid, and Shaman. We saw the Shaman was the aggro Shaman, right? And the Warlock's the Zoo that we've obviously just seen. We've not seen the Druid and Warrior yet, but unless Roy's playing a really, really weird Druid deck, I kind of want to see Egg Druid, to be honest. But unless he's playing a really odd Druid deck, you just imagine Druid's 1, good versus Warrior. There's a Druid Mirror, which is the Mirror, so fine. And then even pretty decent versus Warlock as well. So it is Zoo, so it makes it a little bit harder. But if Druid can, we saw a Druid match earlier where, like, if you can just get Keep of the Grove down early, and again, Cenarius.
Right.
They love it.
And
they love it.
Oh, he's got a... What's his name? Finley as well.
Yeah. I like Finley in Druid, because I think Druid has one of the worst hero powers to a certain extent. Because if you think about the Druid decks at the moment, the aggro Druid, you probably want the Hunter hero power. But then the, like, mid-range Druid, there's a lot of cards that would be okay. Priest Heal's nice. Priest
would be awesome.
Yeah, Tap's insane. The Priest Heal is nice because you've got a lot of big chunky minions that will probably trade and stay alive to heal them. And even like the Warrior, just to like armor up, which, not fantastic, but still probably better than your hero power.
There he is! You've been waiting for him all this time.
There's the Black Knight. God, you know what? Like, I'm taking this. I've done okay for calling meta. I've done okay for calling the meta. So this is the Druid Mirror, except Black Knight for Cenarius. No Finley in this deck. Looks a bit more standard, this one, definitely. Other than the Black Knight, of course. Looks very standard. Double combo on both sides, so we're just probably going to see someone get Druided by the other Druid, if that makes sense. Someone's going to ramp, probably. someone might not, and then the game will just end.
One guy draws Wild Growth, the other guy doesn't.
Yeah. But we might see the Black Knight swing. It might be amazing. It may happen. Black Knight, honestly though, Black Knight onto Druid of the Claw. So they play Druid of the Claw turn 5, you play Black Knight. He's probably one of the swingiest like turns that will regularly happen in the game.
Yeah, that's a big swing. And even if it hit, they're not running it, but Ancient of War did pick up a bit of popularity in the use.
Finley in the opening hand. Nice.
Oh wow. Well, let's see what he would choose. Like...
Finley's always interesting though, because like he's a 1/3, which is really good to open with, but sometimes you want the hero power that you need later on. Like you don't know how the game's gonna go. So unless like the way to play now for Sword, he keeps Finley of course, but now he has to pick what he wants to and stick to his plan from the get-go, as opposed to later on drawing Finley and then be like, right, okay, I need armor now, or I need more damage to push through now, so I'll take Hunter hero power or something like that. And we don't get to see his choices, which is a shame, but we'll definitely get to see his final choice.
Tap would be excellent, I think. Turn 2 tap, especially if he doesn't draw a Wild Growth or an Aspirant.
The only problem with tap is it's great, but you have to rely on the draw being more valuable, and it's tap, okay. Because you're tapping, Druid struggles with its own heal, so you need to stay away from that 14 damage combo range later in the game. But the idea now is that Sword will want to tap early to then gain enough of an advantage for the late game for the opponent not to even happen.
Yeah, he's going to tap enough in these earlier turns that he won't probably need to as much later on, and then he gets his curve, because that's what's most important here. He needs to develop his curve, and tapping is going to he's going to get an extra card next turn. And if you look at Druids, they have cards like Ancient of Law and Wrath, which usually give him card draw. It's just pressing hero power and gaining hand advantage, and I think that's super important.
Yeah, it's pretty huge, and this is the impact again. Like, just go back to it. League of Explorers, it's insane. Like the impact just this expansion has had, and it's not even finished yet. But the cards are like nuts, and like they're actually useful, which is nice, because we saw from TGT like not much of an impact whatsoever. Mysterious Challenger being probably the biggest impactful card there, but this smaller expansion is just like so many crazy cards, and even like just this Finley in the Druid deck, one card, except it changes the whole deck because you can do things like live tap now.
Well, if he just had hero power this turn, like Druid hero power, it wouldn't be great.
Pokes for one, yeah,
Pokes
exactly.
Now he's gained hand advantage,
and that's why Druid's hero power is one of the weakest overall for what the current Druid decks want to do anyway.
So now you can innovate out Drake if he wants to, but it does get taken out by the Druid. But it might just be worth getting the body down and getting the draw, because he can just play Shredder next turn, and then he can maybe find another 5-drop, another his own Druid Claw. But
yeah, I think the Drake's okay as well, because you can, worst case, if you really want to get rid of it, you can just swipe as well. Because the Druid of the Claw is probably going to go into the Drake, right?
Unless he rafts it and then he uses Living Roots. You will use 2 cards to get rid of that Drake. He does protect his Druid of the Claw. He needs to kind of weigh up. It looks like he's going to do that. And I quite like this, because the Druid of the Claw has a lot of value right now, because it's only staring down a Finley. It lets him put some damage on its face, and he still has to find an answer to it.
Yeah, the problem is, if you'd done the other way, then like even if you played Living Roots as 1/1s, you're very open to swipe. And again, it's just another swingy turn. So he does guard the Druid of the Claw. There's still not enough damage on board to kill the Druid.
I like the silence here.
Yeah, I think you silence kill now.
Yeah.
Do you kill? Yeah, I think kill's fine at this point, because now you have the 2/4 on board.
He still needs to find 1 more damage from with the Finley to clear it.
And he can't hero power.
And he can't hero power now because he switched to tap.
Yeah.
He's got such a good curve. I mean, look at that curve for a sword there. It's just perfect.
I mean, swipe's going to be pretty nice next turn though.
Oh yeah.
Swipe's going to be nice for sword, no matter what he does, because either way he's going to do almost the same thing, right? If he doesn't trade now, so really, from our point of view, Roy should just hit face.
He's going to swipe anyway, right?
Yeah, because you make them do the trade then swipe, because that's the only, maybe not the only real play, but the best play, I think. The Druid of the Claw doesn't do anything, because you still have to contend with their Druid of the Claw, so This is an odd play.
There's bear battles going on here.
Yeah, you just drew to the claw pass, then yeah, there's no point trading.
Oh, they innovate into the Black Knight. Right, this
here we
is
go.
a dream. This is a dream.
Swing.
And Sword is just going to look disappointed.
Oh, he's confused. The guy
brilliant.
plays Black Knight. It's like
why?
What? Okay, and there we go. And in the mirror, especially, Black Knight is ruthless.
You can just tell from Sword's expression, like, oh,
now he's just like,
man.
I guess I got 4-0'd. Like, that's what he's thinking now. Another 4-0, kind of nuts.
The dream is real, Roy.
I mean, he's not dead yet, but it's looking pretty grim. He's on 4th. He's already in combo range, and it's turn 5. And he's lifed now. This is the issue. Well, you can't really hero power, right?
No.
Like, his hero power doesn't exist anymore. Because if he hero powers, he's just going to die quicker. He's done a good clear, but the second Shade comes down, then you're really in trouble now. What's he going to draw?
Oh,
Shades, fine, and then just hero power. You can Ancient of Law next turn. Or potentially just win, yeah. Right. Yeah, Ancient of Law and Savage Draw, but there's so much damage now and there's no taunt, so I think is Sword forced to heal? Not that it's particularly saves him though, so maybe he won't heal.
No, yes, he's going for the heal here. He probably doesn't feel like he can take any more damage. An Ancient of Laws or Dr. Boom.
Yeah, I mean, you could just play.
Draw?
I think you could just play whatever, right? Just draw some cards. Like you're on 29 health. Who cares?
Oh, low fab as well. That's another body
as
well. You know, it's he didn't find a Savage Draw, but Sylvanas...
He just doesn't need it anymore.
Yeah.
Well, Force of Nature is still 6, right? So he has 12 next turn, guaranteed. Like 100%.
I think he's working on where he attacks with
And
Shade.
your opponent can't armor up with the hero power. So, like, he only has 14 health, and you've just seen that heal as well. I like pass. Yeah, you just pass. What's he going to do to kill that Shade?
He's going to have to go probably 1-for-1 with the Ancient of Laws. Maybe you can squeeze a Wrath and a Sylvanas next turn.
Yeah, which is nice, but is it enough? Like, that's the thing. Because you have 6 damage from hand that you can't... Ooh, next turn StarSeries might help. Get those taunts up.
Wait, what's he... Is he thinking of pinging and wrathing? I think Sylvanas...
Yeah, I think he can't afford to draw at this point. Like, he needs to just reduce the damage.
Alright, so... This is where the board gets a bit shaky, I suppose.
Yeah, this might be...
Oh, this is Savage Draw.
Okay, so he needs to play, actually, the Lotheb and the big Game Hunter. Oh no, he needs to ping off that and play Lotheb Big Game Hunter.
Well,
that's what...
Lotheb, well, you can only actually play Lotheb, right, because of hero power.
Oh, sorry, you'll have to hero power, yeah. Sorry,
that's fine.
Sorry, I'm talking crap. I'm actually just talking crap. Yeah, so he needs to play Lotheb, but then... So StarSeries comes down. Oh yeah, he still wins, right?
Yep, he still wins.
Yeah, he still wins with combo. That's what I was trying to work out to get through both taunts. But he does still win.
And this is going to be Roy 4-0 in the I-Series, the I-League Season 4 champion if he doesn't find an answer here.
Is he going to draw? Savage Draw for 8 mana is not the answer. Okay, and is Roy sort of preempted this? Is he going to just sit for a second and work this out? Because Savage Draw is 14. His face... Oh, hang on, yeah, count. His face goes into that, a 4 goes into that, then he has 8 plus 5. Yeah, because he gets the 2 damage from Lotheb. That's lethal, right? I'm not being stupid.
So
the face goes into the 2-2, a 4 goes into the 2. Yeah, and you have it easy.
And there we go. So, Roy, a 4-0 sweep once again. Second one we've had today against a very strong Chinese player in one of the strongest in the scene right now. So well played to Roy. He just really showed how good he was in those games.
Yeah, I mean, really strong play actually. I think just solid play overall. There was nothing too wild.